I've got two new toys to introduce to you guys that I'm very excited about, and at the same time I'm kicking myself that I hadn't bought these a long time ago because they were really very affordable. First is this apple core peeler slicer, which means fresh out of the box. I think this thing was like 20 bucks maybe. Great reviews. But you guys, most of you know how they work, whatever. You got a little release lever right here on the back side, so you can slide the whole thing back, slap an apple on the end, and then when you crank it, this peels it, and this cores it and slices it at the same time. The other new toy is my Foley food mill, stainless steel food mill. Let me tell you guys, I spent a lot of hours as a kid cranking on this thing for Mom. We'd bring in just buckets and buckets and buckets of tomatoes out of the garden, and Mom would wash them, cut the bad spots, steam them, and we just kept a hot pot full of steamed tomatoes ready to go. We'd dump them in here, just crank and crank and crank, and make, you know, tomato paste, tomato juice, whatever. Use tomato juice. But we also did make some homemade applesauce, and that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. My son, who is 2, you can see he's killing a granola bar right now, but he absolutely loves applesauce, and he doesn't speak a whole lot. I mean, I guess he talks a lot, but he doesn't say things all that clear because he just learned to talk. But one thing he does say very perfectly is more applesauce. He looks you dead in the eye and with all sincerity asks for more applesauce, and he says it plain as day. So, as a treat for him, for his birthday, I'm going to make fresh homemade applesauce, and I've got a whole bag of Granny Smiths, which are tart, but we like Granny Smith applesauce. Obviously, once it's all done, I'll sweeten the taste. This is going to be my first go-around, so I'm going to make a pot of applesauce, and then I'll get my pressure canner out, and I'll can all the extras. But, yeah, just wanted to show you the tools of the trade, and I'll show you a little bit as we go along the way as far as peeling and coring the apples and running the mill and everything else. Okay, so step 1, of course, is to peel and core the apples. Now I'm actually going to use the peel as well because this core takes quite a bit off of it, and I want to get as much as I can out of these things. So we shove it on the spears. You guys know how this thing works. Give it a little crank here. And I'm actually only using this machine. See, I'm going to reuse the peel, so I'm going to throw that in my pot. But I'm actually using the machine because of the coring effect and because it cuts the apple in the rings like this. And having it cut into these nice rings, it'll just help it cook down that much faster. Here, Emerson. Apple. And I can share them with the kids. So, we're going to keep doing that for all of our apples here. I don't have very many. This is going to be a real small batch, but I'll just experiment for now. So we'll take you to the next step. Okay, so got them all peeled and cored and sliced, and actually going to do something a little different here. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the peels and the cores with it for it to cook, because I've noticed that little apple peeler actually leaves quite a bit of the apple still on the peel. I mean, you know, it's not a lot, but hey, I don't like to waste. So it doesn't hurt to cook it down with the peel any. Like I said, the only reason I was using the core peeler slicer machine was, 1, because I wanted to play with it because it's a new toy. But 2, just because it kind of helped break everything down in size real good. So I've got this on the stove now on a medium-high heat. I put, I don't know what volume, a cup or 2 of water in the bottom, we'll see. But now it's just time to cook it and stew it down. So I'm going to let it get heated up here and just keep stirring and keep cooking it down, And if I feel like it's too dry, I'll go ahead and add a little bit more water at the time. I'm going to throw some lemon juice on the too, just to help keep the apples from browning too much. That citric acid is in there actually really helps, but until then I'm going to keep eating these slices. We'll go ahead and get our tools washed up. This thing, the way it clamps on the counter, got a little suction cup, so just pop that loose. Sometimes pop right up, rinse it off under the water, good to go. We'll need them cooked down, and then we'll show you the mashing process. Okay, so we got our apples cooked down now. You can see they're real nice and mushy. And let me see if I can find one of the cores. Even the cores are still a little hard. There's one there. But definitely very mushy. So got actually quite a bit of apple off of those by cooking them down. So that's good. You know, no waste. And the peels as well. The peels look like they're kind of hanging onto their contents a little bit more. But anyway, we're going to get them over here into our food mill now and mash them down. And then I've already got my canner set up. I've got the jars warming up, heating up, and sterilizing. So we'll be ready to pack them here in just a little bit. And we're going to have fresh applesauce for dinner. Next. Okay, so here's our Foley food mill. This is going to be really hard to do one-handed, so y'all just bear with me. A little spin around. I'm actually going backwards right now, and then going. Oh my God! Okay, I can't film this one-handed, but you know what? I'm just going to try the Foley food mill, and then I'm going to try the other one there. I don't even know what it's called, and I'll let you know which one I think was better. So that's what's left after milling down all those apples. I think that was maybe a 5-pound bag, maybe. I've got peel and seeds worth about maybe the volume of one apple, which is pretty much just the peel. There's a little bit of paste left on it, but I'm not gonna fight with it. Try to get over the last little bit. So, and here's our pot of sauce, which I'm gonna put a little bit of sugar in because it is pretty tart with them being Granny Smith apples. And I'm gonna serve some of it up fresh to my kids for dinner, and I'm gonna put the rest in pint jars and can it up. All right, so here's our finished product. Out of all that work and effort, which I knew it was gonna be more than it was worth for this time, but hang on, I'm getting the trash to see here how many pounds it was. Oh, not bad. It was only 3 pounds. So out of a 3-pound bag of apples, we got 2 pints here, and I gave the kids each a little taste, which probably amounted to, I don't know, a cup. Maybe another half a pint that I gave those two, and they're killing it. So actually, I was going to pressure can it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to throw these both in the fridge, and I imagine we'll eat it up here in the next week or two anyway, so it's going to be just fine. Anyway, I just want to show it to you. It was a little tart. I dumped in maybe a half a cup of sugar just to take a little bit of the edge off, but I don't really taste the difference, and the kids don't seem to mind. So, applesauce from scratch. Next time I can get my hands on a big batch of cheap apples, I'm for sure going to make some more.